how it just kind of eases into our natural flow of conversation. Then like, well, hi, moms and dads.
Yes.
Because I can see when it goes on here, and it should be in literally just 1 minute.
So this is going to be a good conversation because it's all about consistency of compassion and leadership, right? This is going to be good. And we're live.
Oh goodness.
Hi,
guys. Woo, here we are.
Right?
Has it been a month again?
It's been a month already. Yeah, it goes by quick.
So today I want to lead you on a little story. That's how we're going to start today. This live session. We're going to talk about showing up today. It's very important because here we are, second semester of school, whether you have a neurotypical or neurodivergent child at home, or how about a husband, a spouse, a caregiver, a loved one. I don't even know the plethora of
a teacher,
pronouns we
a
call
manager,
now.
Whatever. Yeah.
But I want you to go with me on a little journey. For me, I see this all the time. This is a weekly occurrence. And I know, Manny, before you even hear my story, you're going to agree with me on this one. We see a kid. We see them frustrated or struggling. Mom and dad are in the same room with them.
Yeah.
But mom and dad are on their phone. Or we're at the restaurant. And little Johnny and little Sally are trying to get mom and dad's attention. They're playing with the sugar packets. They're playing with the ketchup. The next thing you know, mom and dad, again, head down on the phone, not paying any attention.
Mm-hmm.
As a bystander, you're watching because we're behavioralists, so we're sitting back and going, ooh, it's coming. I remember,
like a ticking time bomb.
Do you remember in the Love and Logic series when the guy's like, ooh, it's coming? Yep. I can hear the doctor in my head going, ooh, I know it's coming. And the next thing you know, the ketchup goes right across the room. And then mom and dad, their heads are up now. Mm-hmm. And now, how dare you, Johnny? Johnny, what are you thinking? We're at a restaurant or in the classroom or at home. And now it's, what's your problem? Why are you making so much noise? When they've been trying to get your attention the whole time.
Yeah. Or even in the house. How many times, I know it's happened to me. I'm guilty of it. But when the kids just say, hey, you want to play with me? And you say, your response as a parent is, in a minute.
And when's that minute turn
into? And that minute turns into 5, 30, whatever, or it never happens.
Yeah.
You get sidetracked and the kid ends up playing by themselves, maybe doing some damage, get your attention later, gets louder, whatever.
Absolutely.
Or they do nothing and they get quiet.
Well, I was thinking about this because, again, bring our kids to the couch. If we bring our kids to the couch, we're always hoping, Manny and I both have talked about this, and if we're bringing you issues that we're facing in our own homes, we're doing that mirror reflection. And so many times we have these epiphanies, even in our own lives, that you all don't get to see outside of filming the podcast. But that's what these live monthlies are, where you actually get to meet us as human beings that make mistakes, that are fallible, that we fall down and we pick ourselves up.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was reflecting on, again, in our little world with Loki is when he was a little boy and we were going through the thick of the autism, we had this thing that we would do. And it was like we've talked about, nighttime sometimes is the best to be present with your kids. Mm-hmm. For neurodivergent kids. I'm not, neurotypical, still the same thing. Kids don't want to go to sleep. When they have a scheduled bedtime, they will talk your ear off because they think you're oblivious to it. And it's like, oh, I had an 8 o'clock bedtime, but I talked to mom for 30 minutes. So now it's 8:30. I stayed up. Or if it's 9 o'clock and then you're in this deep conversation with your kid and the next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock. Oh, they think they pulled a number on you. But did they?
Right.
Loki and I used to have our best conversations at nighttime. Best conversations. Because he was tired. So that ADHD frontal lobe finally was like, so we could have full conversations. So I bring that to us today because I want to let parents know, use that to your advantage. But one of the things that we would do, and we're talking about being present with our kids, is that every evening, and I'm going to tell you, like I did this all the way up into his teens. Don't get emotional, Pam, because I did it the other night. And it goes like this. Who's mommy's favorite little boy in the world? Who does mommy love more than anybody else in the entire world? Who is mommy so proud of? And Loki would always go, me. me, and then we would do noser like Eskimo kisses. Loki's 20 years old, and I pulled it the other night. I called him downstairs, and what you all don't see is my producer is giggling and chuckling, and so is Manny.
Just try to think of his expression.
So, well, what happened was it was nighttime. I'm getting ready for bed. You know, Loki doesn't go. He has a midnight bedtime. He's 20 years old. He knows that midnight is his time. And for him, man, back in the day, I would have been right with him. The Pam of today is 8:30. At 8:30, I'm heading to bed. My whoop tells me it's time for you to go to bed now.
Mhm.
And so I was getting ready for bed, and it was one of these days that, you know, everything that we turned on was talking about what's going on in our country, in the world, I should say, because it's not just our country. You know, we just happen to have a very loud mouthpiece that has no problem expressing himself.
Right.
But it was all the doom and gloom, and I was feeling it. And so I yelled. I was like, "Loki, come downstairs." Well, he comes down thinking something's wrong. And I said, "Hey, man, I'm getting ready to go to bed. But who's my favorite little boy in the whole wide world? Who do I love more than anybody else in the whole wide world?" And he was like, "Mom, are you really?" I was like, "Just pity me." And he was like, "Me." And my son walked down 2 flights of steps so we could do noser at the end.
There it is.
You see, and it just so even as an adult, you know, those are the memories I want to have.
Well, and the memories he wants to have too.
Well,
you know,
because he went back into that safe space.
Yeah.
And so I tell you all this story because it is something so small, but yet so impactful. And I share it because being present with our kids doesn't mean that we have to be there to answer all the questions. We don't have to be there to be in these teachable moments. We just have to be present. Maybe you're not a Minecraft or Roblox or whatever, and no Roblox. We can talk about it on a different episode. I just am completely boycotting them, period.
Yep.
There's too much. You know my thing. You hurt a child, I'll give my life up for a kid.
Right.
And you hurt a kid, and if you're allowing that to happen, I have no patience or tolerance for it. I digress. But going back is that you don't have to be the teacher, the doctor, the therapist during that time. Your kids just want you to be there. And then I started thinking about relationships. And I'm like, how many times have you just wanted to touch your partner? Not say anything at all, just to be present. And so, you know, I started deep dive in some stuff, and I was like, okay, therapeutically then, how can we open this and staying present in the moment, but yet still being there? Like, okay, I'm not going to play this card game. It's not my thing. And I'm not talking about Magic the Gathering. It's whatever the new thing is, you know. And I'm like, no, I'm not learning any more of that. But I'll sit here with you because I like watching you. I like hearing you engage.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that I think our parents are losing sight of. But we're not promised time. And, you know, we have the blessing, you especially, man. I'm jealous, I think, a little bit of you and your twins because you had the benefit of Sabrina and Aiden. And that was really Manny growing up.
Yep.
You know,
that was
first kid and your
my
first
early
children.
30s. Yeah, my early 30s. Yeah.
You're growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You're growing up as an adult. And man, thinking about even the autism, even the medical things, going through it with Loki, so much time I can't get back.
Right.
And when we talked about expressing being present with our kids on this episode here, all I kept thinking about was how much time we can't get back.
Yeah. And I think, you know, one of the things I was hoping we talk about is like, you know, you mentioned the twins. So it's like my second round of being a parent.
That's what I said. I'm jealous,
you know,
man.
For the audience, right? I have 5. Hope is 17, soon to be 18. Sabrina's 13, going on 14 soon. Aiden is 11, going on 12. And then my wife and I were blessed with the twins who are now 4, and they won't be 5 for quite some time until September. And it's definitely kind of a surge of, well, I had one round and they're all teenagers now, and they're doing their thing and quite independent. So, and I didn't screw up too bad, so that's good. And in terms of the showing up part, I thought about when is the most important times to show up, how to give, and that would be one thing I thought we'd talk about. And then the other, because it ties into everything. And then the other one is giving yourself grace when it's really hard to show up.
Mhm.
So like with the twins, for example, man, is it harder when I'm older now? I'm not in my early 30s and late 20s, and the energy level that they have, I don't remember having that, like, so being able to show up for them, it obviously feels harder. So it takes a lot more effort. And I'm sure parents can relate to that. When you have a long day at work, or you have a lot of things going on in your head, or you have financial troubles or whatever, or even when you're sick.
Oh, yeah.
The twins don't
understand
that. They're too young for that. And I can only imagine what it's like for a parent. I'm blessed, and I know I am. My kids are vocal. They have vocal language, expressive language. They can
Right.
tell me if they're in pain or hurt or sad or whatever. So I can only imagine, a parent having to show up when your kid can't express those needs and wants and emotions. So, and then with the older kids, and Pam knows this happens to be a day where showing up means a lot to me. So it was just last night, one of my older kids had the intuition. I just wanted to go to sleep, and it was not even 8:00 at night. I wasn't present. I wasn't in a good mindset. I just wanted to go to sleep. And I waited up for my daughters. They came home around 8:30. I said, good night. I love you. I just want to go to sleep. And the 13-year-old just had the intuition, like, something's not right. That's not usually my mojo. I want to stay up, watch a movie, whatever. And so it made me, prepare for today to think about what those challenging times, the most important times to show up, are probably the hardest times, maybe for us as parents, but are even more crucial. And what are those times?
So just as if I was talking to one of our other families, I'm going to say this to you. Think about the acknowledgement on all the times you have been present when you had the energy.
Oh, yeah.
It's why she noticed the change.
Yeah, for sure.
So as a dad, pat yourself on the back.
Thank you.
Give yourself a little grace.
Right.
But programming wise, and I'm using Manny, this is a prime example because we all do this. I hear you tell that story, and I think about the connection of a father and a daughter, and how using nonverbal prompting and cues, she was able to assess that, man, Dad's just beat. He's tired and exhausted and just not his normal self tonight. But she picked up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know why she picked up on that? Because you have been so present.
Yeah.
You have been there. So when you have that outlier, good for her, because not only that, good for you.
Yeah.
But what did you do? But as a doctorate level therapist with over 20 years in applied behavioral analysis, he's already thinking of the negative about, oh, and I wasn't there. I normally watch a movie with her. I normally.
Yep.
But I was tired and I wasn't present because I needed to recharge my battery.
Yep. I definitely did not give myself grace, which is, we're talking about, I'm not a couples counselor by any stretch of the imagination, but, one of the things that even couple counselors talk about is making sure you give yourself a little grace, being present in a relationship, whether it's a, significant others or mother, father, or mother, daughter, father, son, whatever
All
the
those
relationship
good combinations.
is, it's not always going to be easy. And so when you recognize you can't be present, it's even just that acknowledgement to that person, to your relationship, that person saying, I'm just not able to right now. I'm not present. I can't be, I just need time.
Can I piggyback on something real quick? Because Manny was speaking to our audience that do have nonverbal children. If you noticed, he was relating to how difficult it would be for those of us that have been in that situation where we look at our kid and they kind of just give us the days. And you don't know if they're comprehending what you're saying. You don't know if they are hearing you. But even as Manny is vocalizing this, I want our families to understand that even though they may not look at you when you speak to them, even though they may not feel present to you, they're listening,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
We have seen so many cases of nonverbal expressive children that in 5 to 10 years, because we've been doing that this long now, we've seen the storms leave. And we've seen the children that were nonverbal in elementary school that are now teachers, attorneys, doctors, and will give you a dissertation of how life really is. So they will always come back to you with moments that you thought they weren't listening, moments you thought they weren't present. So my advice to you as a parent that was with a nonverbal child, that did give you the days, that would look at the ceiling the whole time I'm sitting on the floor trying to pretend play. Oh my goodness, I think I've had more conversations with his toys
Yeah.
sometimes than even he did, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and today was a rough day. Mommy's doing the best she can, and I'm having my own little therapy session, and he's just playing, but I'm there with him. And that's what I want our parents to understand, that these present moments don't have to be big, huge, monumental, life-changing moments. Doctor's offices.
Yeah. Doctor's offices. Yeah.
The little moments are the ones that matter the most, more than people realize. Big moments come and go. People don't even realize them half the time. The little ones are what really sticks with you.
Yeah.
The little things matter. It's so, John, I'm going to piggyback on that so much, is because the birthday parties, they have a bunch of their friends or they have family members, but they look to those moments. Those are celebratory dates that they already know are going to come.
Right.
Those aren't the moments that you're going to be in 10, 15 years remembering. It's the moments like I had this week with my 20, soon to be 21-year-old that still wants to give mommy noser.
One of the conversations I had recently with a parent, we were talking about applied behavior analysis and things like that. And this parent in particular was struggling because they don't see a lot of progress, or, the progress is slow.
Yes.
And so, of course, in our ABA fashion, we show the data, right? And say, look, there is progress. Let's talk about where we see progress and where we have yet to see progress. And the journey is slow in some cases. And that conversation led to us talking about, mom and dad, this is the time to be present. This is the time to be there for your kid, even more than those big wins.
Yes.
Because those small incremental changes, they take longer, they're harder, and there's growth. But even though you don't see it where you want it, be there for that little.
Ooh, I like that one.
And they walked away feeling a lot better, but it was more than that. It was more about understanding how instrumental we are as parents to be present during those slow moments of progress. Or maybe think of it an older kid that's having an emotional crisis. That's a good time to be present.
Yes.
Those kind of critical junctures. If your kid is now in the job market and they had a really shitty day at work.
Exactly.
That's the moment to tune in, right? That's
being there to relate with them.
Yeah.
Not to coach them, not to give them advice, not to tell them what they did wrong, just to be present, to be there to listen.
Just listen. Yeah. That's one of the hardest things I think having a teenage girl has been, because the boyfriend thing, had to deal with that. And just having to sit and listen to the baloney of what the guy did,
But what we also need to say, though, it wasn't just in parents. This is the part of being present, okay?
Right.
Is that a good tip and trick to do is to, well, Manny, what I hear you saying, and repeat back to them.
The active listening. Yeah.
Well, it's also part of coherent communication.
Yep.
Because we want to make sure that what the child is saying and what you're hearing are the same thing. Role play here. So Manny just expressed that, oh my goodness, I got to listen to the boyfriend thing. And man, is a teenage girl and they're going into the details. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's my red hair, but anybody hurts my son's heart, breaks my son's heart. I can't even imagine if he was a little girl. Oh, fire dragon mama would be like, let me
Oh,
tell you,
no.
I stopped listening because I'm ready to thump her ass, or, and all of these things come into play. And the first thing we want to do is put the parachute up, come in, it's triage, we're here, we're going to take care of it. And that's not what they need.
It's not what they need, and it's honestly just gonna not solve the problem. They
No,
haven't
and
learned anything.
backfires sometimes, because what if the boyfriend and girlfriend get back together? Now it's, well, you don't like him anyway. You don't like this, and you don't like,
Oh
know.
my God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, especially like in a topsy-turvy little relationship that's growing. Today might have been a bad day. Tomorrow might be a great day.
You got it.
And
You
so
got it.
all you need to do is just be a good listener. That's all
Yes.
they really want.
Well, so we've looked at this. We really focused a lot on our teenagers because the teenagers are talkies, and that's what we want.
Right.
It's so funny. I've talked to so many parents that now have young adults that were going through the struggle at the same time Loki was going through it. And so we're going 2 decades ago. So a lot's changed in the world from going through the nonverbal times for us. And the first thing that they all, and it's like everyone I've talked to that has seen this change, is that when you're in the moment, you don't see anything but that moment that's right in front of you. So, like the parents that are seeing it's just happening so slow. I see changes happening. Okay, there's social emotional development. Then physicality comes in and it wants to hit us in the ass because now you got a kid that's facing puberty. And so we're always fighting this motion when we just need to let it flow and watching the small wins.
Absolutely.
I believe Manny co-wrote a book and it was talking about these little tiny wins that we need to make a big deal about.
That's right.
And so that's when he's talking about in the toughest times, being present are the times you're going to remember. Example, let's say you have a kid. The school system, meaning public school system, was said, this child is having behavioral issues. Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe it's just your teacher. Sorry, not sorry. Truth there. But now you've got a label on a kid. And now coming home. So, Manny, what happened today? Mommy got a call from the principal. And the principal said you weren't paying attention in class and you were throwing pencils at your other friends. Yeah, I was. And I didn't like what they said. And blah, you get where I'm going with this. Okay, wonderful. Do you see? This is communication. But what we do as parents, you're not supposed to be throwing pencils. That's where you follow it. Now you've cut them off. Let them flow with it. Oh, so why did they start? Why did you start? Well, what were they saying? Well, what was the teacher doing when they were saying that? Well, what could you have done? Asking these questions back to them. And in no point, and this is a big coaching thing that can help so many parents, this is that moment to pause and go, okay, I want them to tell me. I want you to tell me what happened. I want you to tell me what could have been better about the situation. Well, what did you think you did do right on that situation? Well, if the principal was just your friend, what would you tell the principal? Because I need to be able to call them back tomorrow and say that you and I talked about this. I would tell the principal he wasn't there and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, he wasn't there, but who was? So the reason I go through these questions is because we do have so many parents that whether you have a neurotypical or a neurodivergent child, when they get done with school, they've been away from the house for, sometimes 8 to 10 hours. You're sitting at the dinner table and you want to unwind from the day and you have communication. And this is working on communication skills. Parents, please go back to the dinner table. You know how that goes because we don't even see that nowadays. Everybody takes their plate and they goes up into a room and sits in front of another computer. Having these open communications, though, is that then you start asking questions and it causes you to pause instead of dictatorship. It's like, really, man, tell me that. Now, guess what? The next thing you know, they're going to want to communicate with you because most of the times what we hear is, how was your day at school, Manny? Fine. What did you do today at school? Nothing. Did you go play? Yeah, I play every day, Mom.
Hmm.
Did you have art or music or recess? Mom, don't you have the schedule? I'm
Yeah.
leaning into the microphone as I say that
Right.
because this is the repetitive,
Mhm.
robotic answers that kids give. I can't tell you how many parents have asked me, Pam, how do I get them to talk about their day? Okay, well, how does that flow go? Because I can tell you the biggest mistake I used to make was, Loki, how was your day today?
Yeah.
Fine. Well, what did you do today? Nothing. Did you get in trouble today? No. Did the teacher call you? That's my smart aleck. You didn't get any notes, did you, Mom? You didn't get a phone call, did you, Mom? Now see what he's doing? Already
Mhm.
flipping that back. But what ends up happening most of the time is by the time we get to question number 3 of how was your day? Did you do anything? You're frustrated now. You're like, well, can you tell me something?
Mhm.
No, I can't. Not with that energy. I'm not going to tell you anything. I went to school. What do you want me to say, Mom? Did it change? No, I get up every morning, I go to school, I come home, and I'm done. And I'm going to repeat the pattern. Now, that's for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Neurotypical, neurodivergent. What are you talking about? John, I'm sure you said that back in the day with your mom. I'm sure you've already had that conversation. I know I've had it. You know, but this is 20, 30, 40 years and we're all given the same
We still do
answers
it.
because our parents haven't changed the questions.
Oh, we're programmed. We're conditioned to ask that silly question: is how's your day? How's your day? As if it's going to change.
Do you know what I changed with Loki?
What?
I'm not, I know you're going to like, what did you do? I asked him when he started doing it and I was like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. Then we changed up to he'd ask me a question. Mom, how was your day today? I didn't kill anybody, Loki. And he's like, wow.
Wow. Good.
You know my son.
Yeah.
And that's Loki's, wow, Mom. You're going to go there, are you? I'm like, what? Tell me, how was your day?
Yeah.
And he was like, it was okay. But I had to do a shift like that.
Yeah. I had a friend. He had a son that had has autism, and he's like 25 now, his son. But back when he was 11, 12, he hated talking about his day, and so his dad, my friend, used to change the conversation a little bit, but he would make it funny. He would say, "So, did you have any flatulence today? Did you puke? Did you puke today? Did you eyeball anybody in the face?" These outlandish,
Love it.
crazy, like silly things that he just kind of came up with every day, something a little bit new. And he would only ask the one question. He wouldn't ask
Oh, I
anything
love
about the
this.
homework or anything like that. And his kid got into it and started asking silly questions to his dad about his day.
But now look, we've now made humor part of
Yeah,
it. You've relaxed the
and it really
flow of
broke the ice a lot.
conversation,
Yeah.
and I think we really, guys, we got to sometimes laugh at ourselves. You can be present with your kids and still be joyful, blissful, and share. I'll come back to the flatulence to make you laugh on that one. But you've got to, guys, got to go off the wall sometimes with our kids. Our neurodivergent kids love science-based humor. They love it. They absolutely love it because it's something concrete. It's not abstract. And so they love it when I'm thinking about Owen. Oh my goodness, this I just love to death. And it took me a good 3 months to get his humor. But once I got it, I'm like, because a lot of times our neurodivergent kids will say a joke to you, dead flat face. Like, straight up joke. And you're like, "Are you joking? Are you being serious?" How many times have you done that with your partner and you're looking and you're like, "Okay, I don't know if you're joking." I've just gotten to the point that I'm like, "I'm dense. I can't tell if you're joking or if you're being passive or if you're being real. So, am I supposed to laugh? I didn't find it very funny." Miss Pam, and you didn't get the joke. And they find it more funny that I didn't get the joke. But that again becomes open listening, being present, and communicating. Even me saying, I was like, I didn't find that funny. And be like, well, you're dense, Miss Pam. And I'm like, yep, I am. It's okay. I have no common sense. Sometimes it goes over my head. I'm only 5 foot. It doesn't have to go very far. But it is finding moments like that, just being human.
Well, and that's what the kids want. I mean, that's ultimately they're in a state of bliss most of the time, right? Even when they're most upset, non-vocal, screaming, yelling, whatever, they don't know any different. That's their world.
Yes.
So if we can just be in that moment with them, they get so much more out of it.
Absolutely.
If we,
Absolutely,
you know,
Manny. So we go back, I'm at Palm Bay and I'm giving a tour. Okay, so Palm Bay, we say that just means our elementary campus. So it's our largest campus that's here on the Space Coast of Florida. And it has everything from our daycare preschoolers all the way up to sixth grade. So I happened to be in the fourth, fifth, and sixth grade blended classroom. And we were talking about gases. And so, yeah, so when I give a tour, my kids come first. I don't care who's with me. And there is one particular group of kids that I'm very close with, and it just happens to be the ones in this blended classroom. So they see me giving the tour, and I get the look like, you are not just going to walk by the class and not come in. So I go into the class and I'm asking, so what are we learning today? I become a student. Oh, we're talking about gases and what gases are, around the planets and Neptune and Uranus and all these. And I was like, oh, and then, yes, I did. I said, "You mean we're talking about farts?" And all of the kids looked like their heads went, "What did
What?
she just say? Oh my gosh, did you say a bad word?" And I'm like, "Flatulence. Do you know what that means?" And one of my boys, he was like, "Miss Pam, you just told us what it meant." And I was like, "Well, what do you think? Do you think Neptune has, you know, and what kind of gases is around?" Now, I have all the kids engaged in the classroom. I'm like, "All right, well, you're gonna have to find this out, and I'm gonna let Miss Kristen know that you're all looking up to see if it's the same type of gas." All right, so now I have all of these kids, 16 kids that are all multiple levels, all looking up, what kind of gas is out there and what kind of gas do humans release and but now we're really driving into science all based on humor.
Oh, we actually do have a live question.
Oh, we got a question.
Oh, so hold on. I just want to finish that story
Yeah.
just so you know.
Please, yeah.
As I left the classroom, their teacher was coming back down the hallway, and I was like, all right, I might have done something. So help your partners, your spouses, anything like that out and give them a little tip and
Yes.
trick there because I looked at her, I said, you need to go talk to Chat GPT, find out what type of gases and what kind. And she's looking at me like, Pam, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. And she goes, thank you for giving that because I wanted my teacher to know the real answer. Our kids nowadays have technology. So don't lie to them, don't sugarcoat it, and be human with them. And you can still have humor, you can still be human, and you can still be present. That was my little story there. All right, so what's
I
our
like it.
live question tonight?
You got it. So, question is, we have a parent who wants some advice on how to have their kid not have as many problems with backslide and behaviors over spring break.
Oh,
Very relevant.
absolutely.
Well, as it relates to being present, I would say, what are some activities they enjoy during spring break? How do you set up the routine so it's not so foreign, from school days to spring break, like morning routines and things like that? Because the worst thing I think that can happen during spring break is you let the kids sleep in,
Bingo.
or you let them eat a bunch of junk food that they don't normally eat, or, like so much change that it becomes totally foreign to go back to school. But at the same time, spring break is that fun time. So it goes back to like having fun and being in that moment as opposed to worrying so much about being in a rigid schedule.
I think you hit a key point there is that number one, is it a break for the parent and the student? So we first need to look at your environmental factors.
Mhm.
So I'm going to break this all down because this is so relevant because so many different districts do have spring break coming up. So the first thing we need to look at is who will be in the house, who's going to be the caregiver during this time that the children will not be in the academic setting or based on their normal routine. Once whether you're a single mom or dad, or if you're in a relationship, then you need to sit down with the adults. Come up with the plan. Who's going to be at spring break? Are they going to a camp? Are they staying home? What does the schedule, what's the routine look like? Number two, if you have vocal expressive children, meaning if your child can have a conversation, because we're talking about all different demographics, and I want to help address this to all different levels. So if you have a child that you can sit down with a communication and we can engage, then what you need to do is say, okay, We've come up with a plan. This is what spring break's going to look like. And then acknowledge this is your break. This is mom and dad's or caregivers, depending on who it is that's relaying this information, that's going to be the primary responsible party.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like, all right, Manny, so I know it's your spring break. So we have to talk. Do we want later bedtime, sleeping in? Let's come up with a schedule. It can be a schedule that's different than what their normal routine is because we want to reward them with spring break. Okay. It is a benefit. Oh man, you get a week to recoup, build that energy up into it. But we still have things we got to take care of. So let's talk about this together. Do not let it be a daily surprise. That's what I think Manny was honing in on, is our kids need to know what's coming next. So many times we take that for granted. Loki has expressed it from his time when he was behavioral issues triggered. And he was like, well, it's because I don't know what's coming next. And he would fixate on not having anything to do. I need to have something to do. I don't have anything to do. Guess what happens? This is when those maladaptive behaviors start coming in because they can't find anything to do. They will find it on their own. This could be bringing paint and art time. Be like, okay, we're going to make a family project. We're going to take and make a paper mache volcano and blow the thing up. We're going to learn that vinegar and baking soda cause a chemical reaction. You have to keep that learning going, even at home, because idle hands will get you in trouble. Idle hands, if I don't have anything to do, I'm going to start poking on my brother. I'm going to start poking on my sister. Well, I'm home now. I'm not used to being home at this time. Think about what their routine is in that system, whether it's preschool, daycare, or academics. What does their normal day look like? Do not mess with their food schedule. Manny hit a home run on that. The same way as if you're sitting down and you're pre-planning, plan the junk food days.
Mm-hmm.
When I say plan it, make it an award. Okay, so I want to let you know, tonight we're going to have Junk Food Tuesday. It's spring break, so everyone gets to come to the table with their favorite junk food. Now, this is what I recommend on that part, because again, it's spring break from everyone, okay? Go before the weekend. If it's you're celebrating it, go get your own snack drawer. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if financially you're able to do it? Doesn't take a lot of money. Go to the Dollar General. Go to the Five Below. Any place that you can get candy, chips, any of the things that are reinforcements that you normally wouldn't let. Okay, let everyone pick out. You can pick 3 things out. But once you devour them, if you decide to eat all that on Monday, you don't have anything else.
That's it.
Okay? But see how we're given freedoms. The other part is that while you're setting up these strategies, give them options, and every single one of the options is something you're okay with. Because it's deflection of who's in control.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our children that are going to be home for spring break need to be in control of everything. Okay? So, Manny, we have options because it's spring break. We can do this, this, and this. It's your spring break. So what you want to do, bud? Talk to me. What would you like to do? Well, now you've already given them 3 options that you're okay with all 3.
Mm-hmm.
But they feel they're in control. Oh, it's my spring break. Well, I want to go to the beach on Monday, and I want to go to the zoo on Wednesday, and on Friday I want to go to the park. Okay, no problem. But on Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to do something as a family together. We may be building a jigsaw puzzle. We may play, oh my goodness, back in the day was, again, we're not sponsored. I hope this is our private, so I can say this. Mario Galaxy, Mario Party, the things that are group-led games. The new Switch 2 is out for some families. If you've got it, then find one of the group games. You can download Tetris if you're an old head like me. Get the old school Mario and kick their butt. Remember, we only had one life. Show them what it was like when you were a kid. Man, they'll learn a different respect, and it's still on their terms. They think they're in control, and you can still add to it. The next caveat, and I don't mean to deep dive on this, but it's such a great question, and we have a little experience doing this. The next part is plan things for, as much as ABA doesn't want me to say this word, for punishment. Setting up those expectations. So, Manny, if you and Monica, brother and sister, I'm pulling out a name here. If you and Monica decide that you're going to beat each other up, then we have to have a system here. So what do you 2 think is fair? Now, do you hear what I'm asking there? What do you two want to beat each other up? You two call spring break to be hell. And be real with your kids. If you were going to say it behind their back, say it to their back. Mom and dad want to have a good spring break with you all. So what we want to do is we want to establish order. So you two get to dictate to us what you think your punishment should be if you all go ham. What do you mean, Mom? Nope. I'm going to send you and your brother, you and your sister, whatever your all situation is. Send them away from you. Tell them to go upstairs, go outside, go to the table, something where you don't want the input, and come up with this together.
Yep.
And now you write it down and go, okay, all right. So if I have to send you to your room because you use potty language, what happens? Well, Mom, I think blah, 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 blah. And now you all made the house rules. Put it up on the refrigerator. So much easier and so much less stress if you go, Monica, I think that's a number 2 violation. Can you go read that to me? Well, it says that if I use bad mouth language, then I have to do the dishes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, well, did I not hear you just tell your brother to go F off? Yes. He took I don't care why. I just heard you, right? Well, Mom, he took my game. Okay, but see, I could have gotten him on a number 4. But now you told him to F off. So now you got dishes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Manny, come on down here. Did you take this from can you read what number 4 is? Well, these are your rules. These not mine. I didn't make these up. You and your sister made these up. So number 4, you got the trash Monday through Friday. Oh man, this is a good spring break for Mom and Dad. We're not going to have to do anything. We actually going to get a break. Do you see how that turns in? But at the same time, have a reward. So what is it if Friday and nothing's been taken away? What's a high reinforcement? Again, we talk about things, and I want to make this very clear because I grew up rubbing 2 pennies together trying to make $1. There weren't extra finances in the household with a single mom raising 2 kids. So I feel the struggle when the financial pocket is very, very tight. But you can make a grilled cheese family movie night. There are things that you can do that are still cost effective within that family budget. Just do it as a family. The next part, maybe it's pizza night, again, because we were just talking about this. We didn't have delivery services. It was a big deal when pizza could be delivered to your house,
Pizza Hut was a thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because it was a diner.
Exactly. You didn't eat it as a restaurant. It was a good thing.
They made it fresh for you, like in your table. Yeah.
So have a reward system. There has to be a reward system. How about this one? If you're in a financial, here's something, because people always tell me, I can't come up with things that aren't money related. Oh, really? All right, Monica and Manny. I'm going to break my mommy number 1 rule. After spring break, if you go through all spring break and we have nobody that's on timeout for an extended period, come up with whatever your terms are. Let them stay up late on Sunday night before going back to school. That's a big reward. Wait a second, Mom. You mean to tell me that if my sister and I, all we got to do is act the way we have to act anyway, and instead of going to bed at 9 o'clock, we can stay up until 11 o'clock on Sunday before we go back to school? Yeah. We talk about quantum entanglement. You're going to watch brother and sister. They're going to all of a sudden start be talking in code, and you're going to see the get in trouble nonverbal, because they're going to be like, I see you. You're going to get us in trouble. And it's a teamwork thing. It's not one or the other. Nope. It's together. These are little things that you can do, but it is establishing understanding. It is allowing the kids to know what's coming next, and it's the unknown that causes the problem. Now, backslide. Okay, guys. Backslide in academics. Alrighty. Find what their struggle point is. If it is handwriting, get coloring books. If they like the Avengers, if they like sci-fi, if it's your little girl and she likes butterflies and horses, find coloring books. Again, nowadays you can print them out. We have the internet that's available. We even have artificial intelligence that you can go and say, I need a coloring sheet for rainbows that come out of horses, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they'll come up with it for you. Let them color it. We're working on fine motor skills. Handwriting will improve through coloring. A really good one, if that's something that is a problem, is standing up painting. They will build the muscle in the shoulder. They will also build it in fine motor, and they're painting so they don't
Mhm.
think they're actually working on handwriting. If it's math, put them in the kitchen. If your kid is struggling and you don't want to worry about the backslide because there won't be any academics, and this is everything I'm telling you all can go from any grade level, from toddlers all the way to high schoolers, because it just increases in what they're going to be coloring or drawing.
Mhm.
If we're looking at mathematics, then what you should do is go into cooking. And depending on the level of assistance that's needed, you're using math, cooking, and you do not even realize it. The kids will not realize it. So now you're reinforcing mathematics through cooking, and they don't even think they think they're making cookies or brownies or cakes or pies or whatever your fancy is and what their fancy is. Again, remember, Manny, we can make these three things. Which one do you want to make?
Mhm.
I'm not telling you we're going to make spaghetti. I'm giving you three options. Now I feel like I'm in control and I actually have some buy-in.
Right.
So there's your math. Reading, go get a magazine. Go get a
Something
magazine.
fun for them to read.
Correct. Do not get the school books out. You can take anything that they're doing or struggling academically and you can apply it, but in a least restrictive setting. If it's strategy, if it's the outside of the box thinking, if they can't play chess, bring out the checkerboard. That's strategy. Challenge. Those are the things. That's how you keep your kids busy. You enjoy spring break, okay? And we don't worry about the backslide. So, to that question, I hope that answered it. If you need some more input, please just send us another message. We'll let you know. But being, man, and it goes perfect in being present with your kid. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that you have to be sitting right beside them for 8 hours. Like Manny and I were talking about, it's the important moments. So
Mhm.
it's that reward moment, it's the moment of redirection. It's the time that just that reach over and touch, especially our ADD, ADHD children. If you have a child that has an attention span issue, just touching them brings them connected.
Oh yeah.
And I want to stress that, especially because of spring break and you have a lot of time with your kids alone. Um, don't yell from the kitchen or upstairs to an ADHD kid. John, I need you to do the dishes. Then I need you to take the trash out. By the time they get downstairs, they don't even remember why they're downstairs.
Yeah, I got one too. Just if you are a parent like us that during their spring break you're working, being present is to remember that you haven't seen them in 8 hours, but they haven't seen you in 8 hours, and you've been at work. So how can you be present when you are together, even if it's for a couple hours? For
Absolutely.
you, it's no big. It's not a different. You went to work and now you're home, but for them, it's different because they didn't go to school.
Right, because they also may be in daycare. They may be with a babysitter. They may be with a family member while you're at work that they're not used to. That's a really key point. So make the point when you get home that if you are the type of parent that needs to decompress from work, then plan that time.
Hmm.
But that also this is how that conversation would go. Hey, Manny, mommy needs some time to let go of work. So when I get home, I'll set the clock. I need 30 minutes and then it's you and me, babe.
Exactly.
They know what's coming next. They know that you're there for them, but you also don't want to bring your baggage and your energy from work to them that might have had a bad day, might have had a great day, but they're going to feel you.
Hmm.
A lot of times, our kids, especially those on the spectrum, are tuned into you more than you realize. That's our research is showing
Oh
that.
yeah,
They're
definitely.
tuned into you. So if you've had a bad day and then you come home, and we've all done this, I am a culprit of this. I may be white knuckled in the mode that I'm like, I just want to go rough off these parents that don't take good care of their kids. We hear it. Manny and I in the field that we're in, we're not talking about our parents at our schools. We're talking about external issues when we get the calls to, we have a condition, we have this, and what would you do? DCF, Child Protective Services, anytime you got to talk to them, you're white knuckled and you're ready.
Yeah.
But don't come home carrying that burden And it may not even be, we work in childcare, we working with kids, so this is our burden. It may be that you're an account receivable and you've got huge AR issues. It may be that you're in, IT and your servers go down. It may be that it's something you can't control but has caused living hell for you that day. Like I said, you're white knuckled. The last thing you want to do is fake your energy with your child.
Yeah.
They will pick up on it, they will shut down, or they'll feed into it. And then you don't have that bandwidth to handle them and the way that you're already white knuckled. So be honest with them. Manny, mom has had a rough day. I need 15 to 30 minutes. I just need to let the day go. Okay, mom needs to go do some breathing. Okay, I'm going to set a clock when the timer comes out. It's all us. And stay to it. If you make a promise to your kid and you tell them you're going to be there, sure as hell don't spend that time on reels, not on your cell phone, and we're all guilty of it at some point in time. You set that precedent that if I told you that in an hour I'm all yours, then you're all that. Okay, guess what? Most of the time, your kid would be like, all right, well, Dad, this is what my day was. What are we going to do for dinner? Yeah, I already am going to go play my game. But it's the time that you just sat there to give them. Well, I'm all yours, man. Okay, how long do I got to stay here with you? As you all know, that's so many times, especially teenagers. I got to sit here with you, Mom. No, you don't. You don't have to sit here with me, but I'm here for you. I'm making myself available to you. How was your day? How was everything? How's life? Do I need to kick someone's ass for you? No, Mom, it's okay. Can I just go play with my friends? All right, baby, I love you. That's all it takes, guys. That's all it takes. That's what being present is for your kid.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So how are we, John? How much time we got?
We're at 53. I'd say it's a great time to wrap it up.
All right. Well, I've talked a lot today, and I'm sorry, Manny, if I over talked, but parents, I think the biggest point I want to bring back to is being in the present moment. Being in the present moment. Do not be at 9:00 in the morning when that person hits you in the car in the line or cut you off. That happened. It's already gone. It's done. Remember, we're not promised tomorrow. So the times that we have with our kids and with our family, make it count. Be there. Be there or be square. I feel like it's an after school special.
Yeah, right. No, make it count. I like that. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I think so. All right, families, remember, you have complete access to us and our team. So please send in those questions, just like tonight's question. We'll answer it live here on the air. And remember that these are always available for playback. All righty. Until next month.